Salut, c'est Géraldine, bienvenue sur Comme une Française TV, sound French, even to the French. There are only 3 things you must see when you are in Paris. La Tour Eiffel, Notre-Dame, and everything else. Notre-Dame Cathedral is my favorite Parisian monument. She's tall, she's strong, she stood the test of time. As the historian said, Notre-Dame est à elle seule un livre d'histoire. Notre-Dame est à elle seule un livre d'histoire. Notre-Dame is a history book all on her own. Did you know the Danes even made a musical about her? C'est parti. The heart of Paris. La cathédrale Notre-Dame de Paris, commonly called Notre-Dame, Our Lady, is the seat for the Archbishop of Paris. It's located on l'île de la Cité. L'île de la Cité, the small island on the river Seine, where Paris was first entirely located. It's an island, so it stands between both banks, la rive droite et la rive gauche. So Notre-Dame gets to be close to the neighborhoods of Le Marais, the Museum of le Louvre, or the Hôtel de Ville, l'Hôtel de Ville on the right flank, and close to le Quartier Latin, or even Saint-Germain-des-Prés on the left bank. So wherever you are in a big part of Paris, Notre-Dame is perfect as un point de rendezvous. Un point de rendezvous, a meeting point, or un point de départ, a starting point. The cathedral is in such central position that it's the actual official center of Paris and France. When you drive on the roads going to Paris, the numbers they give you on the signs is the distance in kilometers between you and Notre-Dame, or actually between you and a plaque on the esplanade in front of the cathedral. Le parvis de Notre-Dame. Le parvis de Notre-Dame. This bronze plaque is called le kilomètre zéro. Le kilomètre zéro. Have you ever noticed it? Notre-Dame is a favorite of postcard makers and tourists. More than 20 million people from around the world visit the cathedral each year. It's the most visited monument in Paris and Europe. Nearby you will find small gardens along the river. They're always full of people of all ages and origins, walking, talking with friends, or just enjoying the atmosphere. I love spending time there in the maternal shadow of the cathedral. Why she's important? History and architecture. Notre-Dame was built 850 years ago, in the Middle Ages. It's a beautiful example of Gothic architecture. It's impressive and elegant. High towers with their ornament and gargoyles, pointed arches, high ribbed vaults, the beauty of the giant rose windows. This peak of architectural style is called Gothic flamboyant. Gothic flamboyant. Another thing makes Notre-Dame truly unique. She's missing the tops of her towers. Traditionally, a cathedral like this should have much higher towers with spires. However, the Renaissance came by with new interests and standards, and the cathedral was never truly finished, and the towers were left square, giving Notre-Dame a solid look on her facade and sa marque de fabrique, her particularity. Since the construction, Notre-Dame is one of the largest cathedrals in the Western world. It used to be even more impressive. The walls and the outer statues used to be painted in many colors. Even now, with its white sculptures, you can see the difference in emotion between la porte du paradis, the large door of the heaven on the right, and la porte de l'enfer, the white door to hell on the left, la porte de l'enfer. The building is 850 years old, we said that, and over the centuries it has seen many kings reign and die, the coronation of Napoleon, even the funeral of our former president. Notre-Dame is a look into the past, a link between all these people across the centuries who saw the same things you're seeing, felt the same feelings as you can feel on the feet of Our Ladies of stone and glass. It's the legacy of her builders as well, who built this church with their bare hands for the glory of God in the sky. Their names are forgotten, but their work still stands in the middle of the City of Lights. Notre-Dame de Paris is also a monument of French culture. It's inspired famous singers like Edith Piaf and Léo Ferré, and of course the great Victor Hugo. In 1831, 30 years before he wrote Les Misérables, Victor Hugo published another massive historical novel simply called Notre-Dame de Paris. Notre-Dame de Paris. In this story set in the Middle Ages, the hunchback Quasimodo falls in love with the beautiful Esmeralda, but the evil priest Claude Frollo also notices her. The novel tells a story of heroism and compassion, but also describes the end of an era and deals with the themes of morality, history, and fate. It's a modern plea as well. Victor Hugo fights for the preservation of the monument, which has been sacked in the French Revolution, and against the death penalty. And in the end, sorry spoilers, everybody dies. So naturally, Disney turned it into an underrated animated movie for children, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. There have been many French adaptations on screen, but most famously in a musical in the early 2000s, also called Notre-Dame de Paris. Its quality and success brought back a wave of interest in French musicals that still goes on today. Many French people can still sing the main songs, and I'm pretty sure you can find the DVD version on YouTube. What's happening now? Today the cathedral is alive and well. The church celebrates 5 to 7 services every day. The building has undergone a complete cleaning and restoration in the last few years and has been given new lights and new bells, all that. Notre-Dame is the most visited place in France. You can freely enter the cathedral and walk around. Or you can pay and queue to walk up the 400 steps to the towers and enjoy the view. You can wait a long time, but it may be worth it. The guide will also introduce you to the messages and intentions hidden in the architecture and to the secret wonders of Notre-Dame. And while you're waiting for your ticket, you can enjoy the shows of street artists and musicians on Le Parvis or on the bridges nearby. The extra mile. The French high wire artist Philippe Petit's first performance was to walk between the towers of Notre-Dame. He later tightened his wire between 2 towers in New York City and inspired 2 movies, Man on Wire and The Walk. If you enjoy Notre-Dame, you may also enjoy visiting other Gothic cathedrals in France, such as Reims, Amiens, Chartres, Strasbourg, or the other Parisian churches like Saint-Sulpice, Saint-Séverin, and many others. Check out also the lonely and elegant Tour Saint-Jacques as well, a tower without its church in the middle of Paris. If you want to read more of Victor Hugo's work, you could be bold and try out Les Misérables or his long poems, but I recommend you start with a shorter novel, Le Dernier Jour d'un Condamné, Le Dernier Jour d'un Condamné, The Last Day of a Condemned Man. I read it and recommend it. It's the powerful story opposing the death penalty, and you get to say to your friends, yeah, by the way, I read some Victor Hugo this week. That's good. If you want more French musicals, try to find Starmania. It was made 2 decades before Notre-Dame de Paris, and the songs hold up well. It's a science fiction dystopia about modern depression, terrorism, and the rise of a right-wing businessman with charisma who builds skyscrapers with his name on them and now runs for president of the free world. But secretly he wants to be a star. Oh wait. Anyway, there's also a Danish musical about Notre-Dame de Paris. You can find some of its song on YouTube as well. I don't know if it's any good, but it exists, and I'm happy about that. It's called Run fra Notre-Dame. My apologies to all Danish audience for my pronunciation. I love you. Et toi, have you ever been to Notre-Dame? Have you visited another Gothic cathedral in France or in your own country? What are the attractions in Paris that impress you? Share your experience in French if you dare in the comments below the video. We can all learn from your story. The comment section is the best place to start discussions and ask questions. Please comment if you like this video or if you have something you want me to talk about. I read all the comments. If you like this video, share it with your friends on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, by mail, any way you like. Help me spread the word about Comme, Française. Merci for that. Love French, dream of sounding French even to the French, and that's hard. Learn how with me, Géraldine, on Française.com, and subscribe to my email updates for exclusive tips on real life in France every Tuesday, plus an exclusive video lesson, Introduce Yourself in French, and it's free. Merci for watching Comme Française TV. Sound French even to the French. Allez, salut!